Walked 3 batters, struck out 5. Only threw 63 pitches, so the expectation here this afternoon would be perhaps he can get up towards 75, maybe even 80 if he's feeling really good. But obviously, Darvish and the Padres playing the long game here. Just the fact that he's able to make this start on normal rest after that start, I think says a lot about where he is physically.
It certainly is a box that you can check off if you're the Padres and you Darvish. Having this being kind of an unknown territory for Darvish coming off the IL. He is making the start on the amount of rest that it should be, and we'll see how it goes from here.
Trey Turner will lead things off. Schwarber and Harper to follow. We're ready to go on a sunny Saturday afternoon, and the first pitch to Trey Turner is a fastball right at the bottom of the zone, called a ball. 1-0. Boy, Darvish in that start the other night against Arizona was getting squeezed like crazy by home plate umpire Junior Valentine. And now first pitch here tonight looked like a clear strike, but called a ball. 1-0 is tapped foul, and the count evens up 1-1. Trey Turner 7 for 23 in his career against Darvish. Couple of home runs and a couple of doubles there. Darvish had the great first inning in his debut on Monday. 1, 2, 3, couple of strikeouts, only threw 10 pitches. 9 of them were strikes. But then it got a little bit more difficult in the second. Here's the 1-1. Turner way out in front of the curveball. Swings and misses, strike 2. And I guess, I don't know, looking back at it, Tony, I wasn't surprised by either one of those things, the quick first inning or the struggles in the second.
No, I mean, it's almost like a football team that comes out for the first drive. Everything was scripted in that first inning, and it seemed to work perfectly.
1-2 pitch is a little low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And then from there, that pitch also looked to be a good pitch right at the bottom of the zone. But then from there, he walked the guy and then had to pitch from the stretch, and it got a little wonky from there, from that point on for you Darvish.
2-2 now to Trey Turner. Hesitation in the delivery, a long one, and a ball hit in the air up the right field line. Fernando over towards the line. He ain't a foul territory, but he'll run out of room as it rattles around over that side wall, and the seat's out of play. Still 2-2. After the second missed call in his at-bat, Darvish seemed to say something, if not scream something, at the plate umpire, Shane Leibensparger. You never, ever see Darvish do that.
Yeah, he came storming down that mound to get the ball, to receive the ball.
2-2 again. Turner swings, hits a ground ball to third. Manny backhands it. He's got it. And the firm throw is low, but Arai able to scoop it and make the play to get this speedy Turner one out here in the first inning. What I was going to say is I got to figure for Darvish there's some carryover frustration from the other night when he was getting squeezed all over the place.
Yeah, because that certainly, I would say, kind of changed his outing around a little bit. And so, understanding that, he was not happy. He came marching down that mound, received the ball, had some words for Shane Leibensparger, and we'll go from there.
1 out, nobody on. Darvish will go to the keypad on his right hip. Called the pitch for his catcher, Maldonado, as Kyle Schwarber gets into the left-handed batter's box. And the first pitch to him is a fastball low. 1-0. And, anytime Schwarber comes up to face you, Darvish, particularly here at Petco Park, we're going to talk about Game 1 of the 2022 National League Championship Series, when Schwarber hit the longest home run we've ever seen in this building. Here's the 1-0. Taken, and a breaking ball strike. 1-1, 488 feet.
I believe it's officially the longest in this building in a game for sure. I mean, we've seen some balls in a home run derby here not that long ago, but yeah, that one is still impressive and all-worthy.
1-1. Schwarber takes low. 2 balls and a strike.
It's funny. You and I kind of went back and looked, and in our head we had it envisioned, cutter up and in that Schwarber just annihilated, but turns out it wasn't quite how we remembered it.
It wasn't up. It wasn't all that much in either.
It was almost middle.
2-1. And a big, strong left-handed hitter spins himself around to that cutter. Swings and misses. 2-2. It went into the second, maybe third row of the second deck in right field here at Petco. And if for whatever reason you're not familiar, you can't envision right field at Petco right now, it is very recessed. It does not hang over the lower level very much at all.
Not like it does in left at all.
Right. Where it's kind of directly over top. This is way back. 30, 40 rows back. 2-2 is down and in, ball 3. And it's the only one that's ever gone up there.
Yeah. That's batting practice, throwing, however you want to cut it. It's the only one that's ever been up there.
So that was memorable, certainly. And Schwarber, by the way, homered yesterday. He's homered in 3 straight games. 1 out, nobody on, just underway. The 3-2 from Darvish. Schwarber checks, takes down and in. That's ball 4. A 1-out walk here in the top of the first inning. And Darvish will have to go from the stretch here against Bryce Harper. Lovely, lovely day. Game time temperature, 71 degrees. Brought to you by Lineage Watch Company, San Diego's very own watch brand and the official timepiece of the Padres radio network. 40 years today at lineagewatchco.com. That's lineagewatchco.com. So a man on first, 1 out for Bryce Harper. Padres with that shift against him. And first pitch is right at the knees on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Machado basically plays shortstop against these left-handed pull hitters. Bogart's right up the middle. Second baseman Cronenworth is deep, and Arise holding on the runner at first base, Schwarber. Schwarber, by the way, don't sleep on him. He's got 9 steals this year, only been caught twice. Pitch here, right down the middle at 96. And Darvish ahead of Harper, 0-2.
That's the other thing about Schwarber. We talked about his prowess and how he's improved. He's just improved athletically, gotten in better shape over time, and he looks good. He looks runnerish.
He is a very dangerous baseball player.
Great call.
0-2, Harper takes, and the curve is low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harper hitting .259, 10 homers, 35 runs batted in, 1 for 4 last night with a single and a couple of strikeouts. Came off the IL to face the Padres in that June 30th game in Philadelphia. Started the first 2 games of the series. Been slow for him outside of Wednesday afternoon in San Francisco. 1-2 pitch is taken a little bit off the plate outside, 2-2. Backed up a sweeper, didn't get the call. Darvish, except for Wednesday against the Giants, has not had an extra base hit since he came back. But he had 4 of them that afternoon. A homer and 3 doubles. Schwarber at first, 1 out. 2-2 to Bryce Harper here in the top of the first inning. Darvish delivers. Harper swings, hits it firmly right to Manny. Little flip to second, 1. Bogart's on to first, and that is your routine 5-6-3 double play to end the top of the first inning. Nothing doing for the Phils. Padres coming up against Zack Wheeler on the Padres Radio Network.
Now that baseball season is in full swing, get
people.
As Padre fans, we know it makes a great team. That's why I choose the friendly pros at Petco as my home team for my pets' food, pet care, grooming, and more. Petco, official pet partner of the San Diego Padres.
The score, bottom of the first inning, Tatis, Arise, and Machado coming up against Zack Wheeler, who I think it's fair to say right now is the favorite for the National League Cy Young Award. Obviously an entire second half to play, but Wheeler's been brilliant in 18 starts this year. 9-3, a 2.17 ERA. That is second in the National League to Paul Skeens. More strikeouts than anybody in the National League. Best batting average against him of any pitcher in baseball. And the 3rd most innings thrown in the National League.
He's going to establish the inner third of the plate all day long.
First pitch, swing and a miss by Tatis. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Had him reaching for it a little bit, 0-1. Wheeler started against the Reds his last time out on Sunday through a complete game and never worked out of the stretch. Only 1 over the minimum. 0-1. Fernando rolls one off the handle out to shortstop. Turner charges. He's got it. And the throw to first in time. 1 away. Prior to that, he faced the Padres. And he threw 8 shutout innings in what I think a lot of us think was probably the most impressive starting pitching performance we've seen against this team this year. But now, getting another look at him. Not going to say it helps a lot, but it certainly doesn't hurt because you did get those looks at him just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. Get a chance to kind of maybe adjust the game plan a little bit from the last time. But for the Padres, it's going to have to look a lot like it did in last night's game.
Here's Arise, left-handed batter. He takes outside.
In the previous start against Wheeler, who was dominant, they helped him. They chased a little bit outside of the. They didn't really do that with Suarez last night. And I thought that was a big reason why they were able to score the runs they did.
Liner foul the other way, 1-1. The other thing I really liked last night, you and I weren't together, so we didn't get to talk about it in that second inning, was just that, it was like kind of a playoff game, against a really good pitcher. You say, hey, if there's just a little bit of an opening, got to take whatever you can get. 1-1 pitch is muscled in the air to very shallow center field. Marsh coming on. He is there, and the center fielder makes the catch. Round number 2 here in the bottom of the first.
We saw the Padres kind of played a little game. Zack bunt there from Merrill that thought unlocked that inning. And it was just those type of plays. They didn't chase, and it didn't mean that they got a whole lot to work with even without them chasing, but it just makes it a little bit tougher on a guy like a Ranger Suarez or a Zach Wheeler because they're not going to be extending the zone.
2 outs, nobody on for Machado. First pitch is inside, 96 as he steps back out of the way and ball 1. Manny homered late last night. That supplied some nice insurance in the 8th inning as he got around on Max Lazar, sent him out the other way. 1-0 pitch is way high, 2-0. Machado also homered in the 5th inning on Thursday night against the Diamondbacks. So back-to-back games with a home run for Manny, and he's up to 17 home runs, 55 runs batted in so far this season. He'll be starting at third base for the National League at the All-Star Game on Tuesday in Atlanta. 4 homers in his last 8 games. Here's the 2-0 from Wheeler. And Machado swings. It's a ground ball sharply to short. Backhanded by Turner deep in the hole. Long throw to first is in time. And a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning turned in by Zack Wheeler. After 1, no score between the Padres and the Phillies on the Padres Radio Network.
Are you looking to up your grilling game? Start with Jensen Premium.
Now representing the organization, Jim Leland and A.J. Hinch are presenting Miggy with a customized set of cleats made by renowned artist Marco Terzo, made from several significant baseballs from Miguel's career. The cleats are presented on a base representing the time he spent at both third and first base in his career.
Well, this is a World Series card. Everybody said, what's it going to be to pitch against Sandy Koufax, who's a dominant pitcher? I said, I hope I don't embarrass myself. And I didn't. Pitched my first shutout ever. We won 6-0, and my parents were there. My mom was afraid of heights, so she was in the upper deck. She had to come down and trade seats with somebody so that she could actually watch her 20-year-old son pitch a shutout in the World Series.
So it'll be Bohm, Castellanos, and Stott here in the second inning. Darvish comes into play today. 203 career wins between Nippon Baseball in Japan and Major League Baseball here in the States. That is tied for the most ever with Hiroki Kuroda. So Darvish 1 win away from some neat binational history. Bohm, a right-handed batter, just 2 for 14 in his career against Darvish, and he is hit square in the back on the very first pitch of the inning. And he will take his base.
So for the first time in today's ball game, he lets one fly and it catches Bohm right square in the back. Leadoff man aboard for the Phillies.
Darvish immediately, you can tell he just felt bad about it. He put his hands up and kind of winced. By the way, over on Fox, they have just made official that Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal will be the starting pitchers in the All-Star game on Tuesday. And, sign me up for that. Here is Nick Castellanos with a runner on first, nobody out. He homered last night, and he takes outside, ball 1.
Yeah, that's as good of a matchup as you could possibly put together.
You know what I like about it, too, particularly on the Skeens front, is that if you got somebody out there as a casual baseball fan or even just a casual non-fan, they've probably heard of Paul Skeens as a grounder foul at third base. And I think that's really important when you're talking about the starting pitchers in the All-Star game.
Particularly the starting pitchers. The two guys are going to toe the rubber when the TV is at its hottest.
Yes.
And so, yes, this is the ultimate matchup that you could have right here. Paul Skeens, Scooble. It should be a doozy.
Now, the funny, if you want to call it that thing, is that Zack Wheeler of the Phillies, who's pitching today, pulled himself out of All-Star consideration in terms of pitching. But he's an Atlanta guy. He's from there. 1-1 is outside, 2 balls and a strike. And, I mean, all the rumor was, had Wheeler agreed to pitch in the game, he would have been the starter in his hometown for the National League. But he said he wanted to rest the body, prepare for the second half, which you certainly understand and respect. And it'll be Paul Skeens. Quite a journey he's been on. 2-1 pitch is launched in the air down the left field line, but hooking foul. And into the seats now, 2-2 on Castellanos. Obviously, the question for Skeens will be, can he get some better run support in the All-Star game as compared to what he normally gets with the Pirates?
Considering who's on the other side of the rubber, it could be dicey.
Might feel very familiar to Paul Skeens. 2 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts, no runs, a hit, and no runs of support. 2-2, Castellanos takes outside. It'll go to the backstop, and Bohm advances to second base. Maldonado kind of lunged for it, but couldn't reach it. And now a full count with a guy in scoring position here in the top of the second inning. And Darvish's command has been a little bit off here, certainly.
To be expected, really. This is a sinker. This is why Maldonado wasn't able to get to it. It wasn't like it was some spin that he had time to get to. This is a sinker that Darvish yanked out of the hand, and that allows Bohm to move up 90 feet.
Phillies last night, 1 out of 4 with runners in scoring position. Not a lot of opportunity. And now they got one here. 3-2. Castellanos reaches for it, grounds it off of Darvish's glove. He picks it up on the mound, fires high to first. It goes over a rise. Bohm will come home to score. Castellanos on his way to second base. Oh boy, that one got away a little bit from Darvish. Made a great behind-the-back effort to field it. Kind of ticked it with his glove. The ball came down on the mound, rushed to the throw to first base, which he probably had to do, but sent it high over a rise. A run comes in, and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead.
Has some self-inflicted wounds here for the Padres, and particularly Darvish here in the second. Hits a batter, unleashes a wild pitch, and then an error on the throw after he recovered nicely to grab the baseball hit at him. Throw well up the line. That allows a run to come in, and it's a 1-0 ball game.
It's an infield single and a throwing error. And now Stott, a left-handed batter, takes a fastball strike top of the zone.
They gave that a single. Oh, indeed. They did.
All right, well, there seems to be some discussion about the scoring. Tomato, though. Line drive to center. Merrill will make the catch on the sinking line drive. Stott is out.
Yeah, there's a run in. That's ultimately, we'll figure out whether they're going to give it a hit or an error.
Mitchell, scoring hasn't been great this year around Major League Baseball. A lot of confusion, a lot of changing, a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense. Is what it is. In this case, really, it's a matter of semantics.
Right.
Here's Real Muto with Castellanos at second, 1 out, and he takes outside, ball 1. Phillies have taken a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second inning. 1-0 pitch, and Real Muto lines it out to left center field. He has found the gap. That will bounce and roll. Split sheets in Merrill. Jackson picks it up on the warning track as Castellanos comes in to score. RBI double, JT Real Muto, and the Philly lead is now 2-0.
This time it's the hanging slider that gets Darv in trouble. Real Muto splits the left center field alley, gets a pitch middle. Just a beautiful line drive stroke into the alley. Brings in the Phillies' second run, and it's a 2-0 ball game.
Realmuto is now hit in 5 consecutive games. He's up at second base, still only 1 out. Max Kepler, the batter, number 8 hitter and a left-handed hitter. Darvish delivers, and Kepler takes right down the middle at 94 miles an hour, strike 1. So it's been a little bit of a fuzzy inning. Remember, it began with a hit by pitch, and then the wild pitch, and then the infield hit / error, and now a double to the gap. Curveball backs up, misses outside, and the count is even 1-1 on Kepler. So Darvish, who did issue a walk last inning, but got the double play ball to get out of it, has not been as fortunate here in the second. 1-1. Kepler check swing, but a called strike on the outside edge. And the count is now 1-2 to the Philly left fielder, who's had something of a tough year his first year in Philadelphia. Longtime Twins signed with them back in December after 10 years in Minnesota. He's hitting .211, 10 homers, 31 runs batted in. Here's the 1-2 from Darvish, and Kepler grounds it to first base, handled by Rise. He'll bring it himself. That's out number 2 as Realmuto advances to third base, and we pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN-FM and KWFN-HD1 San Diego.
This is Joe Musgrove. You're listening to Padres Baseball on the Padres Radio Network.
An Odyssey Sports Station.
Top of the second, brought to you by Sinley Food. Ignite your taste buds with the freshest flavors at Sinley Food. Discover authentic ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard, the Cook's Asian Resource. Runner on third, 2 outs, 2-0 Phillies. And Brandon Marsh swings at the first pitch, sends it in the air to deep right. Fernando tiptoeing back and right in front of the wall. He'll reach up, make the catch, and end the inning. Phillies get a couple of runs on a couple of hits. There was an error and a man left at third base. Middle of the second inning at Petco Park. Phillies 2, Padres nothing. And now here's what's happening at Valley View Casino.
Well, this is the most famous jersey in baseball, right? The Yankee pinstripes, the interlocking NY, and the Midnight Navy. I was a Yankee fan growing up my whole life, die hard, and became a free agent after 7 years with the Rockies, and I wanted to be a Yankee so bad. Putting this jersey on for a headshot for the first time, it felt different than any other shirt I'd ever put on in my career.
A trio of guys that's just been incredible. Padres did beat Rangers Suarez last night. Got Wheeler today, Christopher Sanchez tomorrow. Those guys this season have combined to make 49 starts, collectively a 2.25 ERA. Gavin Sheets takes outside ball 1. It's incredible to have 3 guys.
That's as good of a 3 as you can find in this league. I don't know if there's 3 better.
No, I don't think so. 1-0. And the pitch to Sheets is a fastball strike, 1-1. And look, it doesn't take a ton of imagination to think about what that could look like in a short postseason series.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. And get a 3 guys like that can keep you off the scoreboard.
Sheets rips one in the air down the right field line. That will bounce and roll all the way to the wall. Castellanos picks it up with the bare hand on the warning track, and Gavin Sheets into second base with a hard hit leadoff double.
15th double of the year, and whether you're right-handed or left-handed, lately it has not mattered to Gavin Sheets. This is a misfire by Wheeler. Ends up on the inner third, and just a great job once again on getting on top of that baseball, lining it down the right field line. Lead double here for the Pods.
That was the Padres' first hit of the game, brought to you by Frozen Ropes Travel Ball. Free tryouts are underway for ages 7 to 14 with Coach Kurt and his Frozen Ropes team. Check them out at SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. That's SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. Xander Bogaerts with a runner on second, nobody out, and he takes a fastball inside and 97 miles an hour, ball one. Padres 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position last night. And right now they got the guy up who might be the hottest hitter on the team. Bogaerts 3 for 4 in last night's game. 1-0 pitch is a fastball strike on the outside corner. First of all, Bogaerts now in the 2 series against the Phillies is 8 for 15. Last night his 9th 3-hit game of the year. 5 of those 9 games have come in the last 3 weeks.
Certainly has looked better.
1-1 way inside.
This has been the most consistent we've seen from him all year. And I contend that the hard outs were coming long before we started to actually see results. But certainly it couldn't come at a better time.
2-1. Bogaerts lines it in the air to right center field, and Marsh will make the catch. Sheets thought about tagging and advancing, now changes his mind as Marsh fires back in towards the infield. 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Another good stroke there. It's a sinker. Gets in on him a little bit, but the ball is on the line. Hit behind that front side, against that front side, if you will, and just right at the center fielder Marsh.
So runner on second, 1 out for Jackson Merrill. Had that bunt against Rangers Suarez in the 2nd inning yesterday that kind of unlocked that rally. And he takes outside, ball 1. Stat of the day brought to you by Culligan Water of San Diego, providing advanced water treatment solutions, including softeners, filters, and bottled water, ensuring cleaner, safer, and great tasting water for homes and businesses since 1936. 1-0 to Merrill, swung on, hit in the air to left field. Kepler backing up, still going back. He's at the wall. This one, gonna go! Jackson Merrill goes the other way. 2-run home run here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the Padres hop on top of Wheeler and the Phils and tie this thing up 2-2.
That is the Jackson Merrill that we have become accustomed to seeing. This is a mistake up. It's a pitch that Jackson has had struggled to get to with consistency. No struggle on this one. Apo Taco ties this game up at 2.
Oh, boy, for Jackson. So many struggles the last couple of weeks, and he drove that one with great authority the other way against one of the best pitchers in baseball. Cronenworth gets in. He takes low, ball 1.
Talked about the type of at-bats you got to have. That's a misfire. They wanted it away. It leaked over the middle. Jackson attacked it, didn't miss it.
1-0 pitch. Cronenworth takes high. That home run, something to smile about, certainly. Brought to you by Smile Spirits. Real vodka cocktails, not a boring seltzer. Available at smilespirits.com. Keg and bottle, or swing by Baja Rick's before the game and enjoy some Smile Spirits before first pitch. Fastball strike to Cronenworth, 2-1. Smile Spirits, making San Diego smile.
It's really the only thing I thought went wrong in the last start against Wheeler for Jackson Merrill.
2-1 pitch, swing and a miss.
Was that he really chased up out of the zone on at least 2 or 3 different at-bats that only complicated it. There he laid off some pitches, got into a spot. Wheeler missed his spot, and Jackson made him pay.
The anticipation in this building as that ball carried was remarkable. I think everybody understood what was on the line there. Cronenworth now on a line into right center. Marsh slides, can't make the catch, swats it forward. That'll roll the ball back towards the infield, and Cronenworth easily into second base with the 3rd extra base hit of this inning. 1 out double, and just like that, the potential go-ahead run is in scoring position.
I can tell you already in this short span of the game, Wheeler has missed more spots already than he did in his last start against the Padres, the entire 8 innings of work. And the Padres taking advantage. This one drops in front of Marsh. JC will certainly take the double.
Wheeler, after the first inning here today, had thrown now 17 consecutive scoreless innings against the Padres. That is over, obviously. They have doubled twice and homered here this inning. looking for more as Trenton Brooks gets in, and he fouls it back, strike one.
Again, even that pitch there, it's not as pristinely located as it had been his last couple of starts. And occasionally you get an ace like this that may start the game a little bit foggy, and you got to take advantage of it while it's there.
Here's the 0-1. Brooks swings and misses. I mean, the other thing to think about, right? Coming off the complete game, threw 108 pitches the other day.
Yeah.
Against the Padres, 8 shutout innings prior to that, 107 pitches. Even his previous start before that, he went 6 and threw 100. So he's over 300 pitches in his last 3 starts.
That certainly could be why he's not as sharp to start the game.
So the Padres kind of ran into him when he was in buzzsaw mode on June 30th, but here today, that buzzsaw may be a little bit less juice. We'll see. Here's the 0-2, and Brooks takes way up and away, ball 1. Could very well also be, as you were just saying, one of those innings that guys have, and then this could be it the rest of the day. But Padres have put together some really good swings against him here this inning. 2-2 game in the second. 1-2 pitch, Brooks fouls it back. And the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Jackson Merrill, his first home run since May 27th.
It's been a while. The young man is kind of stiff-armed any type of slumps until recently, and I'm sure it feels nice to help the team in the way he did.
Ball low, 2-2. Padres have Cronenworth at second, 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Wheeler had given up 3 earned runs in his last 6 starts, and he gave up 2 on 1 swing to Jackson Merrill. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Brooks takes outside, and now full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Again, I'm going to keep harping on it because I think it's so important when you're facing a guy like Wheeler. You just can't give him any added help. He's already going to be tough enough on his own. Trenton Brooks has worked it count to 3-2, laid off a tough fastball off the plate. See what he can do to win this AB.
Here it comes, and on 3-2, Brooks swings and misses at a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. First strikeout of the day for Wheeler. Middle out here in the bottom of the second inning. For the Padres, it'll be left up to Martin Maldonado.
So Trenton ends up letting him off the hook. This fastball ends up being off the plate. And as opposed to it being first and second, 1 out with your 9-0 hitter up, now Wheeler has a chance to end this inning by getting Maldonado.
Cronenworth at second, 2 away. And the first pitch to Maldonado is down and away, 1-0. Luis Diaz got the start behind the dish in yesterday's game, 0 for 3, though he did have an RBI groundout. Maldonado started 3 of the 4 games earlier this week against the Diamondbacks. 1-0 pitch is inside. And 2-0 from Zack Wheeler to Martin Maldonado, with Fernando Tatis Jr. waiting in the on-deck circle. Wheeler, tall, skinny right-hander. Doesn't look like a guy that can throw 98, but he sure can. Works from the first base side of the rubber, and the 2-0 fastball right down the middle. Now 35 years old, Zack Wheeler.
Been in the league a long time. He's really hitting his stride here in the last 3 or 4 years.
That's it. 2-1, swing and a miss. Originally drafted by the Giants back in 2009. They traded him to the Mets at the 2011 deadline.
I remember this deal.
Carlos
Beltran, yeah, and that was probably the only time that Carlos Beltran was traded, and it didn't go great for the team that got him. Everybody else who traded for Carlos Beltran seemed to get a superpower.
Astros, Mets, yeah. When he went to Houston, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
From Kansas City. 2-2 to Maldonado, and he loops it the other way into right field. Castellanos not going to get there. It drops down a base hit. Cronenworth rounding third. He'll score. Martin Maldonado, an opposite field RBI single, and the Padres lead. It's 3-2.
Get in where you fit in. A fastball in on the hands, just kind of muscles it up and over Bryson Stott. With 2 outs, Cronenworth doesn't need to wait around, and he comes in to score, and the Padres get 3 back here in the second. RBI single for Martin Maldonado.
And now Wheeler has to deal with Tatis. It has been a tough inning for him. He's already thrown 27 pitches. Runner on first 2 outs. Fernando tries to bunt and fouls it at the plate, strike 1. Padres have scored 3 runs here in the second inning against Zack Wheeler, who had allowed 3 runs in his last 6 starts. Maldonado at first 2 outs, 0-1 on Tatis. Wheeler ready, here's the pitch. Fernando flinches, takes low and away, and the count is even 1-1. Wheeler gave up 1 run on 1 hit in his last start. It has been different here today. 1-1 pitch, and Tatis takes low, 2-1.
Scotty's been phenomenal on this homestand, finding his way on the base pass. 8 walks in this homestand, hitting .321 as well.
Now the 2-1 pitch. Tatis swings and misses, 2-2.
It's a good sweeper right there. Seemed to settle in the zone for a long time before making that left turn away from Toddy. Count moves to 2-2.
One of the things that makes facing this guy so challenging, he's got 6 really good pitches. Here's the 2-2, and Tatis takes another sweeper, this time way outside. He doesn't offer, and the count is full, 3-2.
I think one of the things right now that is apparent to me is Zack hasn't established the ball in like he did in the last start. He's been much more using the opposite side of the plate tonight than it seemed like he did back in Philly.
3-2, Maldonado will run, and the pitch is right on the outside corner. Strike 3 call. 97-mile-an-hour sinker with a little tail. And that K will end the second inning, but not before Padres score 3 runs on 4 hits. They leave Maldonado, and we'll go to the third inning. It is now the Padres 3 and the Phillies 2 on the Padres Radio Network.
Summer isn't just a season, it's a feeling. Ziplining through
complexity to the hitter. It's going to throw their timing off the better. You can see him. He pauses and then
coming back into the right-handed hitter. So 1 out, nobody on for Schwarber, who walked last time up. He's now reached safely in 14 consecutive games. First pitch to the left-hand hitter is right at the knees, and a strike, 0-1. Schwarber's got a 7-game hitting streak. Mentioned he's homered each of the last 3. 30 home runs on the season. He and Mike Schmidt, the only Phillies ever to get to 30 before the All-Star break. Here's the 0-1, and Schwarber takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you are a Philadelphia offensive player, and there's a list that includes only you and Mike Schmidt, you have done well.
Who and Mike Schmidt?
Schwarber.
I think that's a good list to be on.
Yeah. 2-man list, you and Schmidt. Ball in the dirt, 2-1.
That's why I double take, because you said you and Schmidt, and I'm like, you Darvish? Or like, but
you?
Yeah, it's me. It could be me. So it's like, I know I'm not on that list.
There could be something only you and Mike Schmidt have done.
You're going to look long and hard to find it, I can tell you that.
2-1 pitch. And Schwarber takes right on the inside corner, but called the ball. And it's 3-1. And again, Darvish, if looks could kill, sending one in there towards the plate umpire, Shane Liven's partner.
Asked him if it was in. I don't know that he got the answer, but it certainly looked to be right on the inside corner. Changes the count from 2-2 to 3-1, excuse me.
And the pitch grounded to first base, so no harm, no foul. Arise has a nice big hop. He'll bring it himself. And that is the 2nd out of the inning.
As you said, no harm, no foul. Gets the out on the very next pitch. 2 down here in the 3rd.
Padres with a 3-2 lead. Those shadows just starting to creep out a little bit towards home plate. They're covering the on-deck circle on the left side now. Part of what you get during the summer in these 4:35 starts. Padres looking for a 1-2-3 inning here with Darvish on the hill, and Bryce Harper takes high, ball 1. That was a sweeper that didn't really sweep. And it's 1-0. Harper grounded into a double play to end the 1st inning. Mentioned that shift the Padres had against him with Machado basically playing the shortstop position, and he hit it right to Manny, who flipped it to Bogarts and on to first. 1-0 curve is a bit inside, and now 2-0 to Bryce Harper. Harper 4 for 16 in his career now against Darvish with a couple of home runs. Darvish set and ready. Long look in on 2-0 now the pitch. And a ground ball wrapped foul into the Padre dugout on the right side. It's 2-1. Darvish grew up in Las Vegas and from a very, very young age was identified as a guy that could be a future big leaguer. And he has lived up to all of that hype, all of that pressure. 2-1. Harper swings, rips it in the air down the right field line towards the Petco porch, and that's off the base of the wall. Caroms right to Tatis, who played it well, but Fernando kind of bobbled it as he went to throw, and that allows Harper to get to second base without a throw. Fernando is going to have a real shot at him and just couldn't quite grip it.
He is frustrated with himself. He played it. He made this adjustment a couple days ago. He was going to that corner way too hard and had a couple balls bounce by him. He plays this one perfect, and if he gets the throw off, he's got a legitimate chance, if it's on line, to throw Harper out. Instead, he loses the handle, and that allows Harper to slide in safely with the 2-out double.
17th double of the year for Harper, who had 3 of them on Wednesday in San Francisco. Here's Alec Boehm with a runner in scoring position, and a weak grounder right back to Darvish. Runs it most of the way, and the underhand flip to Arise is in time to end the inning. No runs, a hit. Harper left at second base after 2.5. Padres 3, Phillies 2, and now here's what's happening at Valley View Casino and Hotel.
It's a 5-man umpiring crew here today. and this young superstar.
And did their feet get tangled up? Yeah, so Hoppy tripped. They got their feet tangled up before the ball came down.
That goes helicoptering into the net. It's Pronto.
And that ball is off the ladder. It's actually off the ladder. You never see that.
A little tumble behind the mound. Hat fell off. That was awesome. I mean, you just don't see that.
Phillies 2. Got to Zack Wheeler in the second. We'll see if it's an aberration or something that will continue here in the third. Luis stands in.
Third inning between the Padres and Phillies. 2 games left before we hit the All-Star break. All-Star game on Tuesday from Zack Wheeler's home state of Georgia.
Ball. That ball started on the corner and worked about a ball. Go way up. Try to get him out of the game. That's
slicing, and that will get out of play foul. Our power player is sponsored by Harbor Freight, and a rundown of what Manny Machado has done in the company that he is in now. 350 plus home runs and 2,000 or more hits through your age 32 season. I mean, just about everybody on that list is either in or going to the Hall of Fame. Machado putting up a great resume, now sitting at 2,005 hits, 359 home runs, 184 of those with the Padres, the most in franchise history. Still 1-2.
And Manny loves the ball in. And Wheeler has done a good job with him today. He's thrown that sinker in, exploiting it. So it's like, you like it in, okay, I'll take it in, but I'll take it a little bit more in than you want it. And then he's worked that split off of it inside too. He's gone away, he's gone in. He's pitched Manny all over the place right now. Let's see if he finishes him up in the zone.
Machado took a lap after fouling it off the leg. Now back in on 1-2 with a rise at first and nobody out in the third. Sheets with a double back in the second and a run scored. He's on deck. Wheeler's 2-2. Just off the plate. Count runs full. Machado a home run in each of his last 2 games. Waits for a payoff pitch. And waves and misses at that nasty splitter. Third strikeout of the day for Zack Wheeler, Machado, and Real Muto. Making sure everybody's cool. You see the young Shane Livensparker getting a little talk from Manny Machado.
Uh-oh. I don't know if he
Oh, he's checking on the backswing.
But Manny stopped to talk. Manny stopped to talk to Sheets on deck, and sometimes that's just like, dude, that pitch was nasty. And sometimes it was, hey, when he throws his split, his wrist is cocked like this or something like that. You never know.
Nothing in one on Gavin Sheets, who lifts the ball out to center field, sending Marsh back towards the warning track. He's got it for out number 2. Arise bluffs from first, 2 down. Bring up Xander Bogaerts.
This Padres team looks like they have fun to me. They looked like that in the clubhouse earlier today. It was so lively in there, and guys were playing ping pong and cards and watching film together. It's a great bunch, and that's how great teams start inside that clubhouse, Adam.
Padres had the best record after the All-Star break in baseball last year. That was part of the reason that they were able to get into the postseason, where they secured their wild card spot with that crazy triple play to end the game against the Dodgers. Finished with 93 wins did San Diego last year, the second most in franchise history. Meanwhile, the Phillies won the division in the NL East for the first time in quite some time. They snapped Atlanta's 6th title streak. They've made the playoffs 3 straight years, but certainly disappointment for Philadelphia. They still have the core. They still have the pitching. They can improve their bullpen, which has been a trouble spot. I don't think there are many teams in the National League that feel as good as the Phillies would talent-wise to try to make a deep postseason push. It's 3-0 on Bogaerts, much to the chagrin of the Philly dugout. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Bogaerts to extend the inning. Both of these teams are dealing with some starting pitcher injuries. For Philadelphia, Aaron Nola is still hoping to be back, as he's dealt with multiple injuries going back to mid-May. Mick Abel just got sent down in the last week to AAA, and they moved Taijuan Walker back to the rotation. Andrew Painter has been up and down at times at AAA. He's been putting up some good numbers, and then has had some control issues at times. There's Walker, who just got put back into the rotation. And then, of course, Jose Alvarado is ineligible for the postseason due to his suspension. Jackson Merrill on a close pitch takes a strike. It's 1-1 after he hit a 2-run home run back in the 2nd, which tied the game. Merrill went chasing after a high fastball that time, 1-2.
And that's not a whole lot different than the pitch he hit out. It's just about 4 or 5 inches higher. So Wheeler expanded off of the pitch he hit. He knew he liked to swing that fastball up. So you just chase him a little bit higher.
There is called strike 3 on a fastball. A couple of strikeouts in the inning, and 2 men left on base by Wheeler. Through the first 3, it's a 1-run ball game in the middle innings.
Y puso esa pelota del otro lado de la barda del jardín.
To the fourth we go, a 3-2 Padres lead. Your team, your players, baseball your way. You can get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app today. Nick Castellanos leads off the middle innings against Darvish and takes a ball. "12 home runs for Castellanos after his solo shot last night. He's got 6 hits now in his last 4 games after a 3-for-24 stretch. He's been fairly steady. His average is usually right around 280, which is well above league average. Power has been a little sporadic this year for Castellanos, but overall, at the plate, you kind of know what you're going to get from him.
And he's a great middle-of-the-order support system. Everywhere he goes, brings a tough at-bat, pro at-bat, works you tough, can drive the ball to all fields, big in RBI situations. It's just a great accomplice in the middle of that order, those great Philly hitters.
Darvish ahead of him, 1-2. Well, just off the corner.
He held that pause. Watch how long he holds that. Okay, and then he tries to back toward that sinker, just barely missed it. Good job on the umpire not calling it, although it was pretty good.
Another 2-strike offering.
Greg Maddux would have got that call every time. Those are the good old days.
Greg Maddux muscled himself into a lot of great calls with some incredible pitching. Another full count to Castellanos. He reaches out and rolls it to short. Backhanded by Bogaerts. Tough play in time. Xander Bogaerts makes a strong play on the move to retire Castellanos to begin the fourth.
He pulls this deep in the hole. Watch how quick he gets rid of it, though. Throws off the wrong foot. And Arise does a cool little hoppy thing at the end. What do you call that?
I'm going to start calling it the cool little hoppy thing, I think.
He stayed down through that so well. And they work on that throw across body like that across the diamond. That is not an easy throw.
There's Stott taking a strike. Bogaerts is top 25 in Major League Baseball in outs above average. So plays that your average defender would not make at that position. He is ranked in the top 25 amongst all positions in baseball. So it's been a solid year defensively for Bogaerts.
He moves well. He's a big guy, too.
Yep.
You get up next to Xander Bogaerts, you realize he's taller than you think he is. He's a little thicker than you think he is. Kind of jacked. Moves well out there.
Stott, the Gold Glove finalist at second base last year, takes a strike, and he's asking the 41-year-old Ivan Sparger about it.
He probably knows that's a strike, but he didn't like it. So he's trying to talk the umpire out of calling that.
Stott, typically a guy who sees a lot of pitches. Hits one on the ground to second for Cronenworth. Stott's got speed, but Cronenworth retires him. 2 up and 2 down on a couple of ground ball outs. Well, tomorrow you can catch the first 2 rounds of the Major League Baseball draft on MLB Network. Then Monday, the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN. All leading up to the 2025 All-Star Game from Atlanta, which will be right here on Fox at 7 Eastern on Tuesday night. For more, down to Ken Rosenthal.
Guys, the Phillies were livid last night upon learning that Brewers rookie Jacob Misiorowski was named to the National League All-Star team when 2 of their own pitchers, Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez, were not. Suarez said he was offered the chance to be on the team but declined. The league also called the Phillies about Sanchez, but he was pitching Sunday, tomorrow, and the team could not adjust its rotation. Otherwise, he too could have been an all-star. Now, guys, the way the process works, a pitcher can only be named a replacement if he is willing to pitch an inning in the game. The solution here would be to honor pitchers like Suarez and Sanchez as all-stars, even if they decline. And the Phillies are actually going to pay his $50,000 all-star bonus.
That's a nice sign for Sanchez as well, who'll start tomorrow. 3 ground ball outs in a 1-2-3 inning for you, Darvish. We played 3.5. It's 3-2. As we get set to start the bottom of the 4th inning, we see Edmundo Sosa has checked in at 3rd base for Alec Bohm, so slot him into the cleanup spot in the Philadelphia order. We wonder if this had anything to do with Bohm being hit by that pitch back in the 2nd inning. He did come back out for another at-bat and was playing defense at 3rd, but right now it's Sosa in for Bohm. As soon as we find out more, we'll let you know. Jake Cronenworth takes a ball to start the bottom of the 4th inning. This is the pitch that hit Bohm in the back. In the rib area even.
Yeah, that could be something. He also hit that little tapper back to the mound.
(3-0) on Cronenworth. We are being told in the press box that is a left rib cage contusion, which makes sense with the hit by pitch and some time that passes by, maybe a little bit of swelling. So Rob Thompson goes to the bench and goes to Edmundo Sosa. Cronenworth takes a 3-0 for a strike.
That is a left rib cage contusion.
Dr. Wainwright lets us know that more than likely Cronenworth goes the other way, flips it towards Sosa, and right on cue, the ball will find you. Sosa has the first out.
Did you see Rob Thompson's reaction when Wheeler went 3-0 right there? Kind of looked at his card and you could tell he just knew that his pitcher today, Wheeler, doesn't have that elite command like we talked about. He's been falling behind a little bit in the count. He's missed a couple of big times across the plate and around it. He hasn't looked like himself. And he's not doing terrible, but he just doesn't look like him out there.
Brooks fouls one back. I mean, it's such a high bar that Zack Wheeler sets. So anything that doesn't reach that level that we've gotten so used to, especially over the last month plus, feels like a drastic drop. Brooks flips one into right field. That is down for a base hit. His 6th hit of the year in 35 at-bats at the big league level. And the bottom of the order has done pretty good stuff for San Diego so far.
Perfectly executed split down and away, too. Brooks just stayed down through it and drove it over seconds. Just sometimes you got to tip your hat.
So Brooks is aboard with one down for Martin Maldonado, who had an RBI single back in the 2nd, which gave San Diego the lead. It was just his 10th RBI this year. And he goes after the first pitch and fouls it at the plate. So this is what you were talking about after the 3-0 count.
Goes 3-0 right here.
All right, let me take a look here. I got a plan for it.
Yep, he's already starting to look at his pen.
Maldonado bounces it foul, and it's 0-2. Wheeler has struck out 4 Padres so far today. Appeal down to first, and Maldonado went around, according to the crew chief Bruce Dreckman, make it 5 strikeouts. Well, Zack Wheeler oftentimes has gone above and beyond. It's brought to us by Jersey Mike's. This is kind of the lofty bar that Zack Wheeler has set in this his age 35 season.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, we see him give up a few runs today. We're like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with Zack Wheeler? But it's just, you know, you can't be perfect every time, but he has almost been perfect, especially these last 6 games, and especially the last 2. 17 innings, 1 earned run, and it was a pop-up to right field, kind of cheap home run in Philly that's really not a home run almost anywhere else. It's been dominant.
It was hit by the former Philly Austin Hayes. Two balls and no strikes on Tatis. Check over to Brooks, who stole 29 bases in his minor league career on 36 tries. Wheeler has not allowed a stolen base this season. Real Muto has been very good, as he typically has been behind the plate at cutting down would-be base stealers. He's got one of the best pop times in baseball. Brooks stays, Tatis takes, and it's a high ball for a 3-0 count.
And he doesn't have the quickest move home. He's got kind of a higher leg kick. It's quick, but it's not the quickest. Well, he gets down the mound, and he's going to throw tons of fastballs at the top of the zone, which is exactly what catchers want to throw, and it makes it tough to run on.
Ooh, Tatis, kind of a half swing and miss. This is a weird time of day with the shadows covering home plate. The mound is in the sunshine. You can see where a hitter would get very thrown off by the visuals at this time of the afternoon. It's what, 5:50 p.m. local time. Another kind of half swing, and Tatis fouls it at the plate. It's 3-2.
And we're talking about one of the most talented hitters in all of baseball. Just look how uncomfortable he is in the box right now. Wheeler's made him feel very, very uncomfortable inside. He just keeps pounding that fastball in, throwing that sweeper away. He hasn't missed over the plate to Tatis today at all.
It's his 4th full count of the game. 3-2 pitch is waved on and missed on a splitter. That retires the side. He's fanned Tatis twice. To the 5th we go. 3-2 San Diego. Top half of the 5th inning, Padres have the lead, and Darvish on the mound is sitting at 60 pitches in his second start of the season. Mike Schilt told us that 70 to 75 is the target range, so this might be his last inning. He'll deal with Max Kepler, who takes a ball inside. It's a big day for Japanese-born pitchers today. Today is the first day in Major League history with 4 Japanese-born starting pitchers going across the league.
Well, we know from watching the last WBC too, there's more Japanese pitchers coming because they have tons. They have stables of incredible arms over there pitching in those Japanese baseball leagues right now.
Darvish is kind of considered to be the godfather of those young pitchers. Kepler looked like he went around. He did not, though, according to the third base umpire, Nick Marley. It's 3-0 on Kepler. Yusei Kikuchi is going for the Angels. Shinosuke Ogasawara is going for the Nationals. And then Shohei Ohtani, in a shorter outing, did go today for the Dodgers in a 2-1 LA win over San Francisco.
Props for incredible pronunciation right there, by the way.
I appreciate you very much, buddy.
That was impressive, man. I had no chance to do that.
Well, the other big note for Japanese-born pitchers, if Darvish does get the win today, he would pass Hiroki Kuroda for the most wins between Nippon Professional Baseball and the Major Leagues. Although a walk to start off this 5th inning to Kepler. And that's a 5-pitch at bat right there. Plate appearance, and now up to 65. So really getting towards the end of the line. And Mike Schilt also said he trusts you, Darvish, to kind of let him know. So maybe there's a little expansion possibility to maybe 80 pitches if the situation is right for it.
Well, but we know that that bullpen is light tonight.
Yes.
So he definitely needs to get through this inning.
That's the other part of the equation for San Diego, which has had, behind San Francisco, the second best bullpen ERA in Major League Baseball this year. Now we're going to see Ruben Niebla, the pitching coach for San Diego, come out and check on Darvish, who has thrown 5 of the 6 pitches in this inning out of the zone. The bullpen for San Diego has been so good. They've been lights out, especially as of late, to the point where Mike
Visit to the mound brought to you by the Window Depot. Offer the best prices and biggest inventory on in-stock vinyl windows and interior and exterior doors. Order online or find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. And as for the first part of Max's question, yeah, I mean, you can still technically use a pitcher as a pinch hitter, a pinch runner anytime you want. It's just not usually to your advantage to do so.
No, it's not. That's why they got the DH in the National League to begin with.
We used to see that more when there wasn't a DH because you'd have to pinch it so frequently that oftentimes you'd be out of bench points.
Yeah.
And so it was like, all right, who's our most athletic starter who's not pitching tomorrow, didn't pitch yesterday?
During that era, you had pitchers kind of trying to position themselves as that guy.
1-0 to Marsh. Mound visit is over. Kepler at first, nobody out. And a ground ball through the left side, base hit. So Brandon Marsh just kind of serves one the other way. And the first 2 Phillies have reached here to begin the top of the 5th inning. Trey Turner coming up with 2 on and nobody out. Padres leading 3-2.
There's a turn this lineup over with traffic now as the top starts to come to the plate and Wandy Peralta begins to get loose for the Padres.
We did see Jack Leiter of the Rangers taking at bat for Texas a couple of weeks ago. And I think, from what I understood when they were here, the instructions he was given from Bruce Bochy were do not swing. And then after he took 2 right down the middle, I think he looked over to the dugout and was like, hey, I got to take a crack here. And he promptly struck out. First pitch to Turner is a slow breaking ball outside, 1-0. But I, from what we heard from the Ranger people when they were just here was that it was Leiter and I forget who the other starter was. But the 2 of them were really kind of politicking for the opportunity. 1-0 to Turner. He takes low, 2-0.
See, a guy like Jack Leiter grew up watching the game when his dad was still hitting. So that's probably something that still appeals to him, whereas a lot of pitchers nowadays want no part of picking up a baseball bat.
Yu Darvish had the great line a couple of years ago when the DH came into the National League full-time. 2-0 pitch, swung on and missed. I think at that time when it was happening, he was 36 years old. And, somebody asked him, hey, what do you think about the DH? What should the rule be? And he kind of sat there for a second. He said, I think the rule should be that by the time a pitcher is 36 years old, he can decide for himself. Turner swings, pops it into left field pretty deep. Sheets is back onto the warning track. Now he'll come in a few steps and make the catch. Runners will not advance as he gets it in quickly, and that's the first out of the inning. Might also be the end of the day for Darvish. Tony mentioned Wandy Peralta was warming. You've got Schwarber and Harper next, both left-handed hitters. For the moment, Mike Schilt is staying in the dugout, and Darvish will get an opportunity here to face Schwarber.
He gets an important empty out from Turner, and now a ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
That's certainly the idea. Padres up 3-2. Phillies with first and second, one away. First pitch to Schwarber is swung on and missed. Had him way out in front of a curveball. Thanks to Max in Mira Mesa for the question. Remember to submit yours. Go to 973thefansd.com/question. Oh, and one to Schwarber. He swings and misses, strike two.
There's the cutter. Executed well. Darvish quickly ahead 0-2.
Schwarber 0 for 1 on the day. Walked back in the first inning. He grounded to a rise in the third. Padres with a 1-run lead, but the Phillies threatening here with a couple of guys on and one out at the top of the fifth inning. Darvish 73 pitches now as Peralta continues to warm. The right-hander has also joined him in the bullpen. Looks like it's Brian Hoeing. Pitch to Schwarber right on the inside corner of the knee. Strike three called. 97 miles an hour. His second strikeout of the day. So two down. Harper coming up. And we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN-FM and KWFN-HD1 San Diego.
Hey, it's Fernando Tatis Jr. You're listening to Padres Baseball on Padres Radio Network.
An Odyssey sports station.
Padres 3, Phillies 2. Phils with first and second, 2 outs for Bryce Harper. Darvish's 75th pitch of the night is on the way. Harper takes, and a little low, ball one.
I'll tell you what, it's been a little bit different version of Darvish in start number 2. A lot of spin that led the way tonight. It's been the sinker that he's used tremendously well, especially the lefties.
So what else is new? Darvish start to start, totally unpredictable. Maybe a sure sign as anything that he's himself out there. Pitch outside, 2-0.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, you came into this start. Remember, he only had the one, but it was cutter, slider, sinker, split finger. Those were the 4 most used pitch in his last start.
2-0 to Harper is a weak grounder foul at first.
That's not the case today.
Yeah.
He has really changed it up. It's been sinker, curveball, sweeper, slider, four-seam. Anywhere between 36% and 11%. The cutter, which is the pitch he normally uses most, towards the bottom.
He is always fun to track because no 2 starts in a set.
No.
2-1 the pitch. Harper takes down and in, 3 balls and a strike. Good to see him really, as much as anything else, get up close to 80 pitches here as he continues to stretch himself out.
Doesn't seem to be laboring.
No. This guy knows his body as well as anybody in baseball. 3-1 to Harper, runners lead. The pitch is fouled back towards us, and the count now full, 3-2. Phillies had first and second, nobody out at the top of the order coming up here in the 5th inning. They still have Marsh at first and Kepler at second with 2 outs. And Darvish has gone 3-2 on Bryce Harper. The runners will go. Hugh is ready. Here's the pitch on the way. Harper swings, just gets a piece, and fouls it off behind home plate. So that was the 80th pitch of the night for Darvish. Remember, last time 63 against Arizona. Heading into the All-Star break. And the Padres have not yet announced their pitching plans and sort of the order of the rotation coming out of the break, but you can expect it to get mixed up a little bit. 3-2 again. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Marsh and Kepler get ready to run, and Darvish will wheel around and watch Kepler back to second base. First disengagement of the plate appearance. Darvish now ready to rock. 3-2 to Bryce Harper. Yu delivers, and Harper takes way outside, ball 4. Second walk of the inning, third of the day for Darvish. And now the bases are loaded, and it's not Alec Bohm who's coming up, but rather Edmundo Sosa, who came on after Bohm had to leave with the rib cage issue.
So it'll be a Sosa versus Darvish here with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the 5th.
Bohm came in hitting .282 with 42 runs batted in. Sosa stands in hitting .276 with 3 home runs, 19 RBIs. Started game 2 of the doubleheader in Philadelphia last week, his only action of the series. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Padres with a 3-2 lead in the 5th inning. And the first pitch to Sosa, rifled foul into the terrace above the Padre dugout on the right side, 0-1. Harper at first drew a walk. Marsh at second singled. Kepler, the lead runner at third, also walked. 0-1 to Edmundo Sosa, up for the first time today. And he hits it hard on the ground through the left side. That's a base hit. Kepler comes in to score. Marsh is on his way. Sheets' throw to the plate is not in time. Throw gets away behind the dish. Darvish backs it up. Throws down to third base, not in time. So a 2-run single for Edmundo Sosa to put the Phillies back ahead 4-3. And when the throw got away behind home plate, both Sosa and Harper advance an extra 90 feet.
Sosa will end Darvish's night on the 2-run single. Got the cutter in the middle of the plate, hit it hard enough to the left side, and the Phillies have jumped ahead.
So 4-3 Philadelphia, Darvish will depart. And the Phils do end up cashing in those early base runners here in the top of the 5th inning. Pitching change with Castellanos coming up on the Padres Radio Network.
Hello.
Edmundo Sosa's first at bat gives the Phillies the lead in the 5th. Brian Hoeing is in to face Nick Castellanos, and he goes after the first pitch and fouls it away. Still 2 in scoring position as this outstanding San Diego bullpen has to lean on some of the guys that haven't been in as many high leverage spots, including Brian Hoeing, the 28-year-old from Indiana. Castellanos lifts it down the right field line. Tatis gives chase, and he gets to the wall, but just out of room. It's 0-2 on Castellanos.
Here it is. You see, just didn't get the slider away as much as he wanted to. Got the ground ball, just didn't go to the right place. But if he makes that pitch down and away more effective like he was trying to, that ball gets hit soft. It gets hit to the third baseman or shortstop, and it's an out. You knows he did not make the pitch he wanted to. Schulte, sometimes it doesn't work out.
Castellanos into center field. Merrill on his way in has it. Philadelphia with some high tension moments. The bottom of the order gets on base, and the Phillies take the lead with Sosa off the bench to do it halfway through. So now Zack Wheeler works with the lead again as the Phillies come back to take the advantage to the bottom of the 5th. Arise will lead it off for San Diego, followed by Machado and Sheets.
The equation was a lot better for Schulte and the Padres when you could get through that 5th inning. Now it becomes very complicated. Down by 1 to Zack Wheeler with the kind of a lesser pin than you normally have.
Arise lifts it foul. Think about it. Let's kind of play it out here, Bueno. Kind of put your coach and manager hat on. Let's say Darvish gets through that inning. San Diego's got the lead 3-2. Now you think, all right, maybe Wandy Peralta gives you an inning or 2.
Yeah.
Gets you past the 7th. Now you can maybe throw in some of these guys into a big spot, a David Morgan or a Brian Hoeing. Maybe lean on Estrada or Morahone on a 2nd straight night. Rise fouls another one off. Not the case now, not necessarily the case. I don't want to assume it, but it becomes a lot tougher now. You already had to dip into your bullpen before the end of the 5th inning. You don't have as easy of a lined up thought process for it. You're going to have to play it much more by ear now. Yuki Matsui should be a part of the bullpen effort as well today. Rise takes outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, you got to think if they had their 4 horsemen down there in the bullpen, Schulte probably makes that move even before Harper comes up. Probably gets him out of there, you out of there at 70, 75 pitches. But, you know, they just really needed you to get through 5 today, and they tried it.
Arrives, this one out towards left center for Marsh. And he's retired for out number 1. Our sleeper picks, sponsored by Mattress Firm. How about these two? We said it right at the top, and I agree with you. The success of these two teams, not solely on these two, but very much influenced by these two who were drafted number 1 and number 3 in the 2010 MLB draft. By the way, a stacked draft when you go back and look at it.
Pretty good.
They debuted the same season. They've been to the All-Star game a combined 15 times. Each of them has more than 340 home runs. A lot of pressure on both of these two as well. When you think about the weight that's been on their shoulders from a very young age. Machado and Harper. Both were on the free agent market in 2019. Machado had just finished up a half season with the Dodgers. Harper with the Nationals. There's a strike to Machado, 2-1.
And a huge inning for Wheeler right here. Middle of the order. San Diego's up there, middle of the order. But his team just came back, pushed 2 big runs across. Can he put up a 0 here?
Nice breaking ball from Wheeler. It's in there for a strike.
I love that kind of stuff right there. 2-1 count, behind the count. Just have to be able to make those complementary, those secondary pitches land in for strikes.
Off of the glove of Wheeler to the second baseman Stott. They'll throw out Machado. Back down to Ken Rosenthal for a little more on the guys who were picked 1 and 3 in that 2010 draft.
Adam, if you remember, you referenced this, the 2018-19 offseason when both were free agents. All you heard about were all their flaws. They didn't sign until February. Both signed $300 million deals. Machado has since signed another extension, and yet all of that turned out great. Not only are these guys adding to their Hall of Fame resumes, you mentioned this, Adam, they have revitalized their respective franchises. The Padres have ranked top 5 in attendance each of the past 5 seasons. The Phillies have been top 6 each of the past 3.
And right now, San Diego is 3, Philadelphia is 4 in attendance. Like, these are teams littered with incredibly talented players, talented position players in particular. But those two guys are the headliners, it feels like, more nights than not. Certainly based on resume.
Well, they're both, you know what they are to me? Like, I heard this earlier today. When Bryce Harper walked to the plate the first time, the crowd went, ooh. They're those guys that make the crowd go, ooh. And that's important. Every lineup needs one of those.
Not to say that they're disgusted by the presence of them, but more so just worried about
you're like, oh, I don't like this guy. You look over at the next guy next to you and you go, dude, this guy's such a good player. I hate that he's up to bat right now.
Yep.
Every lineup needs a player like that.
I feel like that's a sentiment shared by fans and pitchers alike. feel like you've had a few of those moments, sir. A guy that hits you pretty well comes up and you go, oh.
You go, oh, I got him this time. You're like, gosh, don't I keep him.
A fun ball game so far today. 2 in the second for Philadelphia. Padres answered with 3. Philadelphia took the lead in the top of the 5th with 2 more. And now Wheeler looking for a 1-2-3 inning. 2-2 pitch to Sheets. Stott is over. And indeed, 1-2-3. Wheeler gets the shutdown frame. We played 5 in San Diego. Well, weather has wreaked havoc on the state of Texas yet again, and you can join Fox's supportive recovery efforts following the Texas floods. Go.fox/TX flood relief, or scan that QR code. Again, the Rangers and Astros happen to be playing each other this weekend. You saw some wonderful support from the 2 franchises for each other and for their area and for their state. And we wish the best to everybody dealing with brutal circumstances weather-wise and climate-wise down in Texas. We're in the 6th inning, a 2-0 count on Bryson Stott to begin this frame. It is Brian Hoeing starting this inning after he got the final out of the 5th. Stott pops it up. Shortstop Bogarts has to be the one to go all the way out, and he's got it for out number 1. So Hoeing, who's got reverse splits, it's actually been tougher on lefties than righties the last couple of years. Gets a lot of ground balls. He's got that sinker, mixes in the splitter as well. He's out there to try to keep this at a 1-run game. I will be curious to see, and I would imagine we will see Wheeler in the bottom of the 6th. Wheeler's at 91 pitches, and nobody goes deeper into games than Zach Wheeler, so you would expect that he'd be ready to go to try to get through the 6th, but we'll be curious to see it.
I would y ellos están mirando, es por eso que él, claro, fuese más cómodo para cualquiera del jardín porque viene de frente.
Four of the next 5 guys due up for the Phillies are left-handed hitters. And Wandy Peralta is now throwing in the Padre bullpen. 1-1 popped up off the end of the bat. Foul ground first base. They'll come down in the seats about 5 rows behind the Padre dugout. And it's 1-2 on Real Muto. So this could be it for Hoeing.
He's been warming up really the last couple of innings. So a few lefties coming up, so it makes some sense.
Phillies 4, Padres 3 in the 6th. And a little tapper out in front of home plate. And a foul ball. Still 1-2 on Real Muto. Double was his 16th of the year. The RBI is 31st. He's now hit in 5 straight. 1-2. Hoeing deals, and the pitch is outside. So the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Who's on deck for the Padres in the 6th is brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. For the Padres, it'll be Bogarts, Merrill, Cronenworth coming up in the 6th.
2-2 pitch. Hoeing deals. Remuto fouls one off himself. So we'll see again how the Padre bullpen is able to back up darvish, who went 4 2/3. Presuming, of course, Estrada, Morejon, Adam Suarez, almost certainly all down today after their recent work. Maybe Estrada could be used in a safe situation, but we'll see. 2-2 the pitch. Real Muto takes way outside. Ball 3. How about all around Major League Baseball?
Wow.
3-2. And Real Muto hits it on the ground left side. Bogart's long way to go. Backhands it, but he doesn't have a play. It kind of kicked out of his glove. But Real Muto was going to be aboard no matter what. An infield hit with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Agasawara pitched for Washington. Ohtani started for the Dodgers, and Kikuchi is scheduled to go tonight for the Angels. So along with Darvish, first time ever, 4 Japanese-born starters on the same day.
Talk about it often being a global game. That's a good representation of that.
Pretty neat. Pretty neat. They will leave Hoeing in to face Kepler, left-handed batter, and he promptly hits it on the ground to Manny, down to his knees. He's got it. It's the second one. Bogarts to first in time, double play. Beautifully done by Machado, who was perfectly positioned, and then used the cat-like reflexes to start the second 5-6-3 double play of the day. No runs, a hit. After that, nobody left. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Phillies 4, Padres 3 on the Padres Radio Network.
Bored of bland seltzers? Try the coolest drink ever. Smile Spirits. Real vodka cocktails with bold flavor. No sugary aftertaste, just pure refreshment. Crisp, smooth.
You're always down to play on the road, Sagittarius, but you're yearning for an extra dose of adventure to bolster your spirit. You know that you play better when you also get a chance to satisfy your craving to explore new places. Plan an off-day trip to a historic baseball site, and you'll find that your love of the sport is rejuvenated and you're playing fiercer than ever.
What is it that kind of got you hooked as a foodie, so to speak?
My dad was really into food when I was a kid. He traveled for work and he would go to places all over Europe and stuff. He was in sales and I feel like he would come home and try and cook the things he ate overseas. And so as a kid, I was exposed to a lot of like stuff that kids aren't usually exposed to. And so
rotation in baseball by ERA or probably any other measure. The bullpen is a very different story. So it's a very easy decision. Here's Bogarts, and he takes a first pitch sweeper for a strike, 0-1. Now they're not going to leave him out there for 120 pitches like it's the 1900s. But, you know, you get as much as you can. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and Bogarts takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Have you now started following your kids' leads with the 1900
I think it's kind of fun. Remember, he's coming off a complete game against the Reds in which he threw 107 pitches. So the Padres have worked him a lot harder than Cincy did. Swing and a miss, 1-2 to Xander. It was actually a foul ball off Realmuto. There is action in their bullpen now. The lefty Tanner Banks heating up.
That was a really nice play by Manny. I think I might have dropped the ball on the star there because it just happened so fast and he made it look so easy, but then looking at it again and slow-mo, I have a different thought on it.
It looked a lot like the play Iglesias made up the middle last night. Kind of that quick, you're sort of sliding, turning, twisting, spinning, and throwing all at once. 1-2, grounded to the right side. Charged by Stott, has a nice friendly hop. And the throw to first is in time, 1 away. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Trustin will score. Phillies 4, Padres 3. And the out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by KMG Psychiatry, official mental health partner of the Padres Radio Network. Offering TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, to lift the fog of depression and restore clarity. Visit KMGpsychiatry.com. Begin, of course, at Oracle Park in San Francisco. First here's Jackson Merrill, 2-run homer his first at bat. Swings and misses at a high fastball, strike 1. Dodgers beat the Giants 2-1. That ended LA's 7-game losing streak. And now ahead of the Padres and Giants by 5 in the NL West. Here's the 0-1. Merrill takes on the inside edge, strike 2. In Kansas City, the Mets beat the Royals 3-1. And so the Mets will move into first in the East by a half game if the Padres come back and beat the Phillies. 0-2 is outside. At Fenway, Red Sox beat Tampa 1-0. They have now won 9 straight. Garrett Crochet, an all-star. Reins are free. Shackles are off. A complete game. Pitch is down, and now 2-2. A shutout for Garrett Crochet, the first complete game of his career.
We're rolling.
He's unbelievable. Fun to watch. In the Bronx, Cubs beat the Yankees 5-2. Yanks had won 5 in a row. 2-2 pitch. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to right center and pretty deep. Castellanos is going back at the wall. Gonna go. Second of the day for Jackson Merrill. Oh, welcome back, kid. Padres have tied it 4-4 on Merrill's second home run of the afternoon.
This is just a young kid being who he is. I don't know that Zach Wheeler made a bad pitch. He went to the spot, the Honeywell that has been giving Jackson Merrill fits. But twice in this game, this one even more impressive because this pitch might have been a ball. Went up and got it. Ties this game at 4 apiece on a bullet out to right center.
Now Cronenworth will take low, ball 1. It was definitely up, and I mean, they've been working him there so consistently. But to be able to get to it, that's very, very big. 1-0. Cronenworth grounds it as shortstop. Trey Turner charges. He's got it. And the throw to first just in time for the second out of the inning.
That's exactly where Wheeler wanted it, where Realmuto asked for it. Looked to be above the zone, and that's what happens when you're able to remove that slight shoulder kind of coming up out of it. He's able to get on plane with that baseball, drives it out of the ballpark.
Trenton Brooks takes low, ball 1. So Zach Wheeler, who had allowed 3 earned runs in his last 6 starts total, has allowed 4 here today. One of the Brooks is on the inside corner. And the count even 1-1. Wheeler delivers, and Brooks sends one in the air to left center field. Marsh backs up a little bit, but he's got plenty of room, and he'll make the catch to end the inning. Padres do damage, though. Jackson Merrill's second home run of the day has tied this game back up, and we'll go to the 7th inning, 4-4 on the Padres Radio Network.
Remember when customer service mattered? At the grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware? We do. At our family-owned business, we believe customer service goes beyond just selling you a new grill. Let our knowledgeable grilling experts help you pick the right grill, smoke.
To see all this excitement around what I love to do growing up, it's crazy.
What's your favorite thing about this whole event so far?
The fusion of sports, entertainment, and cards.
That's awesome.
Because to me, cards have always been entertainment, and they're getting their just dessert now.
Marsh, 1 for 2 with a single, going to lead off lefty to lefty here against Wanda. Merrill's second home run of the game last inning interrupted our out-of-town scoreboard as Marsh strokes one to left center. Long run. Gavin Sheets gets there and makes the catch on the move, 1 away. And the reason I bring up the scoreboard is because we didn't get to the most important score. And Milwaukee, the Brewers rallied with 3 in the bottom of the 9th to beat the Nationals 6-5. So they stay a game in back of the Cubs in the Central.
Shout out to Jason Schauger listening right now on the home side for the Brew Crew Clubhouse.
They're locked in on Padres radio in there.
Indeed.
Here's Trey Turner 0 for 3, and he takes high ball 1. I noticed, by the way, I still refer to Trey Turner by his full name most of the time, out of habit from when he was with the Dodgers, and they also had Justin Turner.
That's right.
Here's a line drive into left center field. That's down to the base hit for the speedy Turner. It finds the gap, going to roll all the way to the base of the wall. Merrill gets to it quickly, sends it in, and Turner standing at second with a 1-out double. So that was the one right-handed batter kind of in this lane for Wandy Peralta, and he doubles. Now you got Schwarber and Harper both coming up, both left-handed, obviously, and also both dangerous as David Morgan begins to heat up in the bullpen.
Now, last time the Padres were in this spot, it was the 5th, and they were actually able to retire Schwarber. They walked Harper, and it ended up being a single by Sosa.
First pitch, swing and a miss.
Came in to replace Bohm earlier in the game. So here's that left-handed lane once again. Wandy Peralta will have to navigate it.
No balls and a strike. Schwarber ground ball sharply right to second. Cronenworth has it, waits for Rise to get to the bag, and throws it out. Further advances to third base, so he stands there with 2 away. Bryce Harper will be the batter. So the go-ahead run 90 feet away for Harper, who is 1 for 2 with a double. He has also walked and grounded into a double play. Jackson Merrill, 2 home runs today. Last time he had a 2-homer game, it was one of those breakout nights in Pittsburgh last August. He also becomes the first guy to homer twice against Zack Wheeler in 1 game since Buster Posey did it in 2021.
First of all, 2021, Buster Posey seems like he's been retired for a long time, but that's not that long ago.
That was very much my first thought.
The same Buster Posey that has the Giants turned around as a GM now. No longer a player.
Life comes at you fast, they say. Hit up MLBshop.com for the largest and latest selection of jerseys, caps, hoodies, and accessories to keep you in the game all year long. Gear up and game on at MLBshop.com, the official online shop of your San Diego Padres. Runner on third, 2 outs for Bryce Harper. 4-4 game here in the 7th inning. Wandy ready, pitch on the way, and Harper takes a fastball a little bit in, 1-0.
Top of the 7th is brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. For all, that is you.
Bryce 3 for 9 in his career against Wandy Peralta with a home run. 1-0 is the count. Peralta will deliver, and Harper tried to check his swing. They appeal, he went. Ball was inside, but unable to hold up, and the count evens 1-1. Peralta comes set, holds the glove against the chest. Now the pitch. Harper flinches and takes down and in. Not by much, but it was in. And the count swings to 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss. 2-2 to Bryce Harper. Wandy trying to work around the 1-out double by Trey Turner. He's now at third base with 2 outs. Tied at 4 here in the top of the 7th inning. 2-2. The pitch. Harper takes outside, ball 3.
Ball had some cut to it. At least on the K-zone we're looking at, it looked like it got the outside corner, but because it had so much cut on it, Maldonado wasn't able to catch it in the right way that gave home plate umpire Shave Lemonsparger a good look at it.
3-2 now. Harper in the air the other way towards the left field corner. Sheets over to the line and into the seats, foul. So anytime Bryce Harper goes the other direction, you kind of hold your breath. He hits the ball the other way about as well as anybody.
Yes, unfortunately, we've seen that.
There's one in particular that stands out.
Yes.
It's cold and rainy and very, very loud. 3-2. Peralta delivers and misses up, ball 4. So obviously being careful with him in this situation, but now Edmundo Sosa, who had the big 2-run single in the 5th inning that put them ahead, will come to bat. Mike Schilt will go get Peralta, and he's going to go David Morgan against Edmundo Sosa here with runners on the corners, 2 outs in a tie game, 7th inning. So it will be a pitching change for the Padres. Mike calls on his right-hander. 4-4 in the 7th on the Padres Radio Network.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here. The baseball season is upon us, which means long days and restless nights. So I spoke to my friends at Symbiotico, who recommended I take their best-selling magnesium L-threonate daily. And let me tell you, my sleep is deeper. I wake up feeling refreshed.
It's a 5-man umpiring crew here today in this young superstar.
And did their feet get tangled up? Yes, so Hoppy Tritt, they got their feet tangled up before the ball came down.
That goes helicoptering into the net. It's prime time.
And that that ball is off the ladder. It's actually off the ladder. You never see that.
A little tumble behind the mound, hat fell off. That was awesome. I mean, you just don't see that.
Sometimes artifacts in the collection of the Hall of Fame can tell multiple stories. This is the earliest known Yankees baseball cap in existence. It tells a story of a very early baseball cap and of a guy who just had a cup of coffee in the big leagues. But there's actually a hidden story inside this cap. There's another name written in the cap. So who's Dolan?
We play in Toronto. Guerrero sends over some good stuff for the guys, so when we play in Toronto, I definitely dive into that.
You gotta be careful with Vladdy, bro, because a Dominican breakfast will put you to sleep, bro.
Instant oil change. Valvoline is your 15-minute instant drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Huge moment in this game. Tied at 4. Phillies have runners on the corners, 2 outs. And Edmundo Sosa to face David Morgan. Sosa came on defensively after Bohm left with an injury in the bottom of the 4th inning and had the go-ahead 2-run single his only other time up. Swings at the first pitch and sends it in the air, foul up the right field line, strike 1.
This is obviously a high leverage spot for David Morgan. Not usually in on these type of situations, but Mike Shield giving the young man an opportunity with some of the arms down tonight.
No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch, and Sosa takes 97 at the knees, and that's a called strike 0-2. Suarez, Adam, Morejon, and Estrada have all worked the last 2 days. They all also worked on Tuesday and Sunday. So it's going to have to be the other guys. Certainly here before you get to the ninth. 0-2 in the dirt outside. Harper takes off for second base, trying to coax it in the inning. Phillies will hold up and see if they want to challenge it. Certainly look out from here.
I think it'll be for not.
Obviously, a big spot. They will not challenge. The inning is over, and thanks to that play, this game will remain tied as we stretch 4-4 at Petco Park on the Padres Radio Network.
It's a 5-man umpiring crew here today in this young superstar.
And did their feet get tangled up? Yes, so Hoppy Tritt, they got their feet tangled up before the ball came down.
That goes helicoptering into the net. It's prime time.
And that ball is off the ladder. It's actually off the ladder. You never see that.
A little tumble behind the mound, hat fell off. That was awesome.
0-2 is looped into shallow center. Marsh charging in, down and a base hit. Fernando a single. And the potential go-ahead run on base here with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Wheeler now 148, and 6 more becomes only the 3rd Philly ever to have 150 strikeouts before the All-Star break. The other 2, Kurt Schilling and Steve Carlton.
Some good 2-strike hitting there from Toddy. It's a slider in on the hand. He stays inside it, muscles it in the center field for a 1-out knock.
Caleb Cotham, the pitching coach for the Phillies, is out to chat. Visit to the mound brought to you by the Window Depot, offering the best prices and biggest inventory on in-stock vinyl windows and interior and exterior doors. Order online or find a location near you at thewindow.depot.com. Arise 0 for 2 was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd inning. And I would guess at least a little bit of the conversation, at least amongst the infielders there, was about the possibility of Tatis taking off.
Yeah, and how they're going to pitch him. It's lefty on lefty, so who's going to cover? Typically, it would be the shortstop in this with a left-handed hitter up, but because it's a lefty on lefty matchup, they may switch it up and have Stott be the cover man should Toddy take off.
Fernando 20 out of 22. Banks looks right at him, comes home, not running, and Arise takes inside ball 1. One and 0 to Arise. Fernando stepping off at first, not going, and Luis takes a fastball strike. That evens the count 1-1. Tie game, 7th inning. 1-1 to Arise. The pitch, Luis swings, lines it into center field. That'll get down to the base hit. Fernando going to try and go first to third in Marsh's face, and he will. Throw goes into second. Back-to-back 1-out singles here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Padres have the go-ahead run 90 feet away.
It's something they've done well all year long. Really the difference is they haven't had a ton of opportunity to do it, but Toddy going first to third right in Marsh's face. Beautiful stroke on the slider down. And Arise lines it in the center field. Toddy goes first to third. It'll be first and third. 1 out.
It'll also be Jordan Romano, the former Blue Jay, on the mound. Rob Thompson walking out there. He's going to go get Banks, the lefty, who faced the minimum of 3 batters. And with Machado coming up and a couple of guys on base, they will...
It is a 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth card. It is 8.5 PSA. It's rated higher than the one in the Smithsonian.
This card at one point came with a packet or a stick of chewing gum.
This card actually is almost a century old. It was bought for a penny.
So the fact that just the heritage of a card like this is now coming up almost 90 years later into an auction, it's a pretty special moment.
Tatis at third, and the infield going to come halfway in, it looks like, against Machado. A lot of ways to go ahead. Runners lead at the corners. Romano set. First pitch coming. Manny swings and misses out in front of the slider, strike 1. Romano got a herky-jerky delivery from the right side.
Not a ton of break on that slider, but it was down, and Manny was a little bit out in front.
Real Muto now out in front of the plate to go through some defensive signals, gets back behind the dish. Tatis leading down the line at third. 0-1 to Machado. Romano set, kicks, deals, And Manny swings, sends it in the air to right field towards the corner. Castellanos backing up, plenty deep to score Tatis. He makes the catch. Fernando will tag and score. Sack fly, Manny Machado. And the Padres are back ahead, 5-4 here in the 7th.
Playing the game. Scoreboard dictates your options. Got a fastball up, drove it plenty deep enough to right field. That'll drive in the run. And the Padres reclaim the lead, 5-4 on the sac fly from Manny Machado.
Talking a lot about the Padre bullpen situation, and all 4 of the big 4 likely unavailable today. Remember, David Morgan came on to get the last out in the 7th. He's going to be asked to take down the 8th. Nobody throwing in the bullpen. Here's Gavin Sheets with a rise at first. He leans back and takes high ball 1. So Gavin had a big moment. He came on with 2 guys on base, 2 outs, and got Sosa to ground out. But he's going to have to face Castellanos, Stott, and Real Muto next inning. He will have at least a 1-run lead as Romano throws over to check on a rise. Padres 5, Phillies 4. Tied it in the 6th and have gone ahead here in the 7th. 1-0 the pitch. And Sheets takes a breaking ball strike, 1-1. Padres beat Rangers Suarez last night, and an opportunity to win a game started by Zack Wheeler here today. Big lead for runs. Harper holds him, not going. And Sheets lines it foul the other way, strike 2. Sellout crowd of 43,444 here at Petco, and they have been treated to another tight, intense, and exciting game. 1-2, swing and a miss. Sheets will strike out. That'll end the inning, but the Padres get 1 on a couple of hits as Machado's sac fly plates Tatis, and will go to the 8th inning. It's the Padres back ahead of the Phillies 5-4 on the Padres Radio Network.
Summer favorite.
It's a 5-man umpiring crew here today in this young superstar.
And did their feet get tangled up? Yes, so Hoppy Tritt, they got their feet tangled up before the ball came down.
That goes helicoptering into the net. It's prime time.
And that ball is off the ladder. It's actually off the ladder. You never see that.
A little tumble behind the mound, hat fell off. That was awesome. I mean, you just don't see that.
What is it about baseball cards that make them so special? Why do you enjoy doing that?
Well, the biggest thing is I started collecting when I was a kid. O-Pee-Chee was a Canadian hockey league, and then the Canadian football. But I didn't start in the U.S. until I had signed professionally as a ball player. And when I got my first rookie card, and I've got it here with me.
Let's take a peek at that.
1966 with Billy Sorrell.
Got to figure that'll be for if they get to Kepler, the number 8, but we'll see. Morgan comes set. He will deal to Castellanos. And the first pitch fastball misses high, 1-0. Game is seesawed pretty well here today. Phillies led 2-0. Padres went ahead 3-2. Phillies went ahead 4-3. Padres tied it at 4 and now ahead 5-4. 1-0 the pitch. Castellanos hard hit grounder to Bogarts on 1 big friendly hop. Xander's got it, and the throw to first is in time. 1 away. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN-FM and KWFN-HD1 San Diego.
This is Jake Cronenworth. Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
An Odyssey sports station.
With Tony Gwynn Jr. and our producer engineer Dave Marcus, I'm Jesse Agnew. Padres 5, Phillies 4, 1 out, nobody on top of the 8th inning. Bryson Stott, the batter, a left-handed hitter. Bryce Johnson, by the way, is taking over for Sheets in left field. First pitch, fastball, a little bit in, 1-0. Sheets made the final out of the 7th inning, so if things go according to plan, that spot won't even necessarily have to come up again. But the Padres playing with just a 1-run lead here in the 8th. 1-0 pitch is sent in the air to right center field, not deep at all. Jackson Merrill charging it, he's there. And he'll make the catch 2 away. Time for our next game preview, but a reminder the party starts before the game on the Coaster Train. Join the winning team. Buy your Coaster Train tickets to Padre games and score big at gonctd.com/Padres. 1:10 tomorrow for the final game before the break. And Nick Pivetta, who was brilliant against the Phillies in Philadelphia, will get another start against his former team. Ground ball master Christopher Sanchez on the hill for the Phillies. Here's Real Muto, 2 outs, nobody on. Morgan's first pitch is outside, ball 1. Morgan has faced 3 batters and retired them all. Got some help from Machado on the ground ball Sosa hit last inning, but a couple of routine outs here in the 8th. 1-0, and Real Muto swings and misses. Count is even 1-1.
Morgan doing a nice job right now. Keeping the ball down, throwing the ball where Maldonado's asking for.
The 1-1 pitch is taken a little bit too far downstairs. 97-mile-an-hour sinker missing, so 2 balls and a strike on Real Muto, who's 2 for 3 with an RBI double. He's the only Philly with more than a hit today. Hits this one off the end of the bat into shallow center. Cronenworth back, Merrill in, Merrill coming, can't quite reach it, and it just drops underneath his glove. Ran an awful long way and awfully fast, but unable to make the catch. And a bloop base hit for Real Muto, his 3rd hit of the night. And now with the left-hand hitting Max Kepler coming up, Mike Schilt will head out to the mound to get David Morgan and call upon Yuki Matsui. So a pitching change, top of the 8th. Padres lead the Phillies 5-4 on the Padres Radio Network.
Hello, radio fans.
I'm Jeff Chapin, General Sales Manager over at DCH Honda Mission Valley. And here at the dealership, we're full of big savings, baby. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs, you'll find a ride, just ask for me.
DCH Honda of Mission Valley. Driven by deals, powered by people.
Hey, it's Gravy, and I've been a member of Kaiser Permanente for 7 years now. And one of the reasons...
If you want a Cy Young, 73, 5, and 6, I've got an extra 5. And then it says, has worked as a TV commentator. You know, and I did start back in 1978. I did the Yankees and the Red Sox playing the 1-game playoff. And ABC said if the Yankees win, Reggie will play, and then you'll go broadcast with Howard Cosell and Keith Jackson. And that's how I started my broadcast. And that's the Bucky Dent home run. So every time I see Bucky Dent, I go, thank you for making me a broadcaster. SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Padres lead the Phillies 5-4 with Real Muto at first 2 outs in the 8th inning. Max Kepler was scheduled to bat lefty to lefty, but they are going to pinch hit right-hand hitting Otto Kemp to face Matsui. Kemp, by the way, played collegiately at Point Loma Nazarene, one of only 3 guys ever to play up there and get to the big leagues. Gets an opportunity to play at Petco Park now in a major league game. Orange County guy. First pitch from Matsui, swung on and rifled foul up the third baseline. 0-1.
So I guess the real question now becomes, presuming Matsui finishes the 8th inning without any drama, is he going to be asked to get 4 outs and close this game? They've already used Hoeing, Peralta, and Morgan here today. 0-1 to Kemp. And a swing and a miss as he loses the bat. Almost took out Marsh in the on-deck circle. We are assuming, at least for the conversation of the moment, that Estrada, Adam, Morejon, and Suarez are all unavailable. So that would leave either Yuki Matsui to finish it out or Alec Jacob, who was called up today from AAA. So my guess would be, particularly when you consider you're going to have Schwarber and Harper in the 9th, it's going to be Yuki the rest of the way here if he's able to get it done.
That's what it looks like.
No balls and 2 strikes to Otto Kemp. 4 outs to get. Matsui ready. Here's the pitch. Kemp swings, grounds it slowly towards third and foul. So again for Matsui, it is a big-time opportunity here. He did collect his first major league save earlier this season. This is potentially 4 outs. And again, against some high-caliber guys. Oh, and 2 to Otto Kemp, the pinch hitter. Here's the pitch, and he just gets a piece, fouls it back behind home plate. Matsui's first career save was kind of the opposite of this. It was a 1-out save at Dodger Stadium back on June 19th. That was after Robert Suarez got ejected after hitting Ohtani, and they needed somebody to come on and close it out. It took a minute, but he got it done. Very, very different circumstances here and now. 0-2 to Kemp. Runner at first, 2 outs. Padres lead by 1. Here's the pitch. Line the other way, softly and beyond. Cronenworth into right field. Real Muto trying to go first to third. He will. And back-to-back base hits by the Phillies here with 2 outs in the 8th. And put runners on the corners for the number 9 hitter, Brandon Marsh.
Otto Kemp gets it done. Broken bat. But finds outfield grass. Toddy coming in hard, thinking about letting a throw off to third base, but JT Realmuto with 2 outs was able to get a great jump. He runs well, especially for a catcher, and it'll be first and third as Brandon Marsh comes to the plate.
Ruben Niebla will first head out to Chatham. Marsh 0 for 2 with a strikeout against Yuki in his career. Padres ahead 5-4, but the Phillies have Kemp at first, Realmuto at third, 2 outs. Marsh 1 out of 3 today, and quite frankly, he's hit the ball well all 3 times.
Hit the ball well all 3 times. 1 hit in those 3 ABs. Lefty on lefty matchup here with 2 outs.
Long conversation on the hill. Maldonado and Machado going over some stuff. Obviously, with the first and third situation, there's a little more to discuss than just how to attack Marsh. And now everybody back to where they belong on the diamond. Kemp very much a stolen base threat, although a younger, less experienced base stealer. He won 11 out of 13 at AAA this year. He was in low A at the beginning of last season. He's the guy at first base. Ready to go lefty to lefty against Marsh. Matsui will pause now, deal, and Marsh takes the first pitch high, ball 1.
First pitch slider. This is well above the zone.
So we'll see if Kemp tries to run and put himself into scoring position. Realmuto, the tying run is 90 feet away. 1-0. Matsui deals, and Marsh swings, pops it up. Shallow left center field. Bogart's going back. Xander well onto the outfield. Grass makes the catch and ends the inning. So Matsui gets the first of the 4 outs that are left, and we'll see how it goes the rest of the way. On to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Padres 5 and the Phillies 4 on the Padres Radio Network.
Hello, radio fans.
I'm Jeff Chapin, General Sales Manager over at DCH Honda Mission Valley, and here at the dealership, we're full of big savings, baby. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs, you'll find a ride, just ask for me.
DCH Honda of Mission Valley. Driven by deals, powered by people.
The biggest thing we're bringing is a brand new Tony Gwynn drop I did with his estate. So we just signed a deal at therealist.com to actually go through his entire archives, present them, and auction them off. And to announce it, we did this limited edition 1994 The Lost Season card. Because, you know, between August of 93 and May of 95, Tony Gwynn batted .406 in 162 games. So in the back, we have the stats of what could have been.
I want to ask you about food. What is something that you have to eat to beat a judge?
Oh, Aaron Judge! Send him to Monument Park now!
We got some good chefs in New York. They've been cooking up some nice chopped cheeses, and that kind of, it gets you, I don't know if I should tell the kids that they should be eating chopped cheese before a game.
Before the game, probably steak. That's usually what I go to.
A lot of steak, no vegetables.
No vegetables?
No vegetables.
No, is it straight protein?
Yeah.
Covered. Xander gets in 0 for 2 with a walk to face Strom. Otto Kemp, who hit for the left fielder Kepler in the top of the inning and singled, stays in to play left field. And Jeremiah Estrada is up in the bullpen. Pitch low to Bogarts, 1-0. That was the one guy we threw out there a few innings ago, is maybe, just maybe, in a save situation. And only because, though he's worked the same number of days as the other guys in that big four, he's thrown a few less pitches. Strike here on the inside edge, 1-1. Estrada got the win last night. He threw a dozen pitches. And on Thursday against Arizona, getting the hold, he threw 18 pitches. So they will ask him to go 3 straight days, it would appear, especially if this remains a one-run game. Bogart swings, pops it up, foul ground, first base, and into the seats, out of play.
Certainly not unheard of. I think Suarez has done it once this year. But Estrada has been the guy, typically when Suarez hasn't been available, to be the one to close.
One and two to Bogart. Strom delivers, and Xander a late swing and a miss. Strike 3, 1 out here in the bottom. One and two to Bogart. Strom delivers, and Xander a late swing. Is the situation the Padres are in. Here's Merrill, lefty to lefty, and Strom delivers a slider strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
And clearly the Padres have been careful about that, but they've played in so many one-run games, it may just feel like he's pitched in 3 straight.
0-1. Merrill swings, sends it in the air the other way deep. Kemp is back. He's got room, and right at the edge of the track, he makes the catch for the second out. Jackson hit homer twice today, and he put a charge into the crowd with a look at that one. 2 away with Cronenworth coming up, and Tony's not exaggerating about these games. I mean, we've been talking about it all year long, all the close games. AJ Casavell of MLB.com just put it this way. The last 10 Padre wins have either had a save or a walk-off.
There you go.
I mean, that's how you end up in the situation they're in. First pitch coming, and Cronenworth takes high, ball one. Jake 1 out of 3 with a double and a run scored. Five for Padres, 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 8th. It'll be the top of the order for the Phillies in the 9th. 1-0 pitch is a strike. Trenton Brooks due next, but Jose Iglesias, a right-handed hitter, has stepped out into the on-deck.
To be will be a somewhat tired Jeremiah Estrada. Who pitched very well in a loss. He is power hitters, 3 rounds, 1 champ. We'll take home the title. You can submit your picks for the T-Mobile Home Run Derby Pick'em and maybe win $100,000. Restrictions apply. You can see rules and enter at MLB.com/HRD-Pick'em. Jeremiah Estrada pitching for a 3rd straight night. Deals to Trey Turner. In fact, this is the 4th time in the last 5 nights that this excellent but taxed bullpen has turned to Estrada, this time in the 9th inning. He's already saved 2 games this year and 3 in his career. The 1-0 to Trey Turner is outside 2-0.
What you can't do
That's where they've got Trey today. So far, the fastball up is what he's been swinging and missing.
He calls it a